There are 4 teams within 3 points of each other vying for the last 3 Champions League qualifying spots in League 1. PSG is currently 13 points ahead of everybody else, and they have 2 games in hand. Nobody's catching them this year. Nobody's catching them for a long, long time. Today, we're not worried about that, though. Roma is our main concern. The team that finished second in Serie A last season is our opponent in the Euro Cup second knockout round, and I'm hoping we can keep this good run going. My name's FM19, and this is the Ritornu Gloria with SC Bastia, episode 84. Well, before we get into a recap of the last 3 games we played and where we stand right now, although looking at the screen now, you can see where we stand right now, we had our youth intake. It wasn't the best youth intake, wasn't the worst youth intake, but it happened a couple days ago. I'm going to cut that in now, and then we're going to come back with the review of our last games, and then our first match away at Roma. No, we're home at Roma. Back in a bit. Well, Youth Intake Day is upon us. Not a Golden Generation announcement, but not a horrible announcement either. We got every reason to be excited by Theo Magne. It was potentially one of the most gifted players to come through. So, let's take a look. Okay, we sort by potential here. Well, you know, I'm going to do this real quick. We're going to sort by personality. And that's actually not bad. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 players that don't have what I would consider decent personalities. And balanced or better is what we're aiming for. Potential-wise, Theo Magne. Looks like a young version of Armand No. And that he can play everything on the right side. Good natural fitness. Excellent teamwork. Oh, he's definitely got potential. You know, we'll sign him to a contract right now. He's only 14 years old, though. When does he turn 15? I didn't notice. 7/27. So he'll turn 15 in July. Okay. Frederic Olivier, 1.5 star, current 4-star potential, defensive center back. 9 heading, 10 jumping reach. 7 marking, 11 tackling. Potential as well, like the decision making, the determination's nice. Sign him to a contract too. Jean-Louis Guerin. 3.5 star potential as attacking midfielder. Yeah, we'll see if those get a little bit better in the month that he's here. Jan Laurent, or no, Jean-Baptiste Thomé. That name's familiar. I wonder if it's got to be a recycled name. I know I've seen that name before. I skipped Anthony Rualt. We'll go back to him. Not horrible. Yeah. Anthony Rualt. Nice aggression. Physicals aren't bad. The strength of 3 is an absolute killer. Very good Carolero in central midfielder, though. We're going back to Magne here. He already knocks the ball past the opponent. Promising. Yeah, he plays wingback. It's a position we play. Yeah, he could be the future. So, not a bad youth intake, not a great youth intake either. It's my head of youth development. I don't know that there's better ones out there. I can always look. And then, if I go to the club, we got an established youth recruitment, we got adequate junior coaching, which has actually gone up a little bit. Well, that's it for our youth recruitment. Nothing to get too excited about, but Theo Magne's definitely got potential. And we are back. As you can see, we are in 3rd place at the moment on 63 points. Monaco is a point behind us. Marseille is 2 points behind us. Lyon is 1 point ahead of us. PSG does have 2 games in hand over most everybody, well, over everybody else in the league. They have 77 points. They just might break 100 points again this year. It's possible they could do that. God, we're going to have a heck of a time catching up to them. That said, our run of form has been pretty solid. After beating Basel in the Euro Cup first knockout round, we were home against Monaco and we drew thanks to a Heraldus goal. We were then home against Haber and we shut them out 2-0 thanks to goals by Correa and Hrustic. And then against Troyes, they decided to do the same thing. They each scored a goal again. It was a solid defensive performance in both games. Going back to the standings, and I'm all over the place today. 29 games played, 19 wins, 6 draws, 4 losses for 63 points, a plus 26 goal differential. This screen keeps changing on me. Correa leads us with 10 goals. Heraldus has a 7.3 rating for the highest average. Mori Bamba, 9 assists. Tomas Vlecek has the best pass completion. Heraldus, 5 players of the match. Kran Vlecek, 8 yellow cards. Heraldus and Ruiz, 1 yellow, red card apiece. Our 49 goals are 4th highest in the league. Our 23 goals are 3rd best. We're 2nd highest in yellow cards. We're just never going to get away from that, are we? It's saying 0 red cards. Those must be in international games. And our attendance is 17,044 rather. We are in the process of buying our grounds. I know I mentioned that in the past, but I believe that is coming up here fairly soon as I keep clicking the wrong frickin' button. Where is it? Buy grounds. Yep, it should be completed July 10th. So, in the summertime. And then we'll see what happens after that. When I asked about building a bigger stadium, they said we just don't have the population to support a bigger stadium. That remains to be seen in the future as we go forward. I'd like to think maybe we get a 25,000 seat stadium, a 28,000 seat stadium. Things are possible. Overall balance, 71 million euros. We've lost 11 million euros this season. Our profit and loss was negative 73,000 euros this season. Got a decent transfer budget. We've got a lot of money to work with in the payroll budget if we had to. Scouting budget-wise, we're doing really well. So Roma's got a decent squad. They've got Bernardo on loan. He is a regen who is quite good on the attacking midfielder right position. He is on loan from Bayern. Patrick Schick is their striker up top. They each have 8 goals and 3 assists. Julius Olisa, who I don't recognize, is their other striker. They play 4-4-2 when they're not playing a 4-2-3-1. And then Gianluca Rosa is actually from their youth development system. So they've got several good strikers up top. They do have Cyprian Radusic on the squad. He is coming off the bench mostly, 15 appearances off the bench rather, 4 starts, 6.74 rating, no goals, no assists. But you know what? There's probably some sub routine deep in the match engine which says, hey, he's going to score 4 goals in the next 2 games. Go for it. Yeah. That said, I'm going to set the best 11, check the reserves, and we're going to be back with our match against Roma in just a bit. And we're playing what is probably our best 11 today. Orlov in goal, Sessignon, Jiangsheng, Hrustic, and Flores as the defensive back four. Vlecek is the defensive midfielder behind Heraldus and Mihalescu. Correa and Macon are the attacking midfielders, and Fernandez up top is the striker. And they are playing a 4-2-3-1. Okay. Hrustic is the only player on the squad who is not entirely match fit. He's at 85%, and that is, I believe, to international games. It's been about 3 days since I fired up the save, and I don't have my notebook in front of me with the notes. It's somewhere in the living room. My daughter likes to doodle and draw. That's her hobby, and when she doesn't have any of her notebooks around, she grabs mine, and I can't find it. On the other hand, my margins are filled with some very cool figures. Half hour in, this is the first highlight. Bernardo on the throw-in. Sessignon kicks it right back to him. Schick. Oh, guys, that was an easy goal we gave up. Come on. How they could not stop that. People. Heraldus, corner kick in. Jiangsheng bounces around, off the post, and Odero managed to pick it up in the crowd. Fernandez just outside the box, off the crossbar. Vlecek to Jiangsheng. Oh, guys. 8 shots, 3 on target we've had. 3 shots, 3 on target for them. They've had a decent possession advantage. Oh, we just gotta come out of the second half firing. Odero sends it up towards Schick. He loses it. Heraldus has it over to Mihalescu. Out to Macon on the right. Taps over to Heraldez. Long cross towards Sessegnon. Crosses it in too far. Macon in the box, and we get it back, and Macon scores. That was a bit of a disaster in front of the goal for almost everybody. Sessegnon hit it too far. Pellegrini hit it right to Macon, who headed it off. Looks like No, it wasn't Fernandez. Whoever their 15 is, Silvero, went right back to Macon. He put it past Audero, who dived to catch the original header. That was a sequence. Correa dispossessed. Bernardo. Up to Rosa. Split the defenders, but he pushes it wide left. Look at our tactics here. Osmani's going to come on for Miliescu. Save our last reserve for the moment. I'm going to drop us down to balanced. Flores on the throw-in to Fernandez. Back to Koza. Up to Osmani. He drives forward, taps it over to Macon. He's got some space to work with, but he sends it back to Osmani. Long cross to Correa, corner of the box. Tries crossing it in, bounces it off a Roma player. Bernardo has it off the pass from Osman. Sessegnon dispossesses him, but it goes right to Damiani. Schick got behind the defenders, crosses it in. Xingcheng knocks it away. Pellegrini. Mother. We are just making this too easy for them. Okay, there was a bit of luck to that shot, but still. 10 minutes left. Go to the very attacking, see if we can't get the equalizer. Silvero from outside the box, off the post and out of bounds. Orlov must have got a hand on it. Barella with the corner kick in. Cheng knocks it away. Bernardo gets in front of Heraldez to get it. Back to Barella, to Silvero. The highlight ends. Macon with a penalty kick from outside the box. Curls it in. Vlasic knocks it away. Heraldez can't make his mind up as to what he wants to do. Come on, FM. Barella has 5 players around him. Still manages to get it out of Jimenez. Schick. What the hell was that? It's bad enough Barella had 5 players around him after Heraldez couldn't make his mind up on what to do. And Schick... Oh, gee. Barella, corner kick in. Orlov gets that in the air. Holds it up, rolls it out to Heraldez. Over to Xingcheng. Long pass to Fernandez, got behind the defenders. He's supposed to be rounding the keeper. Heraldez, corner kick in, knocked away. Vlasic runs it down. Out to Flores, who's going to get it before it goes out of bounds. He crosses it in. Nice stop by the Roma keeper off the Macon attempt. Last chance. Nope. Gelorossi strike lucky. Well, yeah, that's that was just some stupid stuff. Well, I'm going to do the press conference. We're going to play Saint Etienne offline, and that's actually a good thing. I can play a fairly rotated side against them because they're currently 19th in the league. They're fighting relegation. So I can play a mostly rotated side against them, save my best players for the away match at Roma, where we need at least 3 goals to win. Son of a gun. Back in a bit. Well, St. Etienne played us tough for 67 minutes. And then in the 68th minute, Thierry Correa scored. Osmani scored in the 72nd minute. Xingcheng scored in the 76th minute. Mori Bamba put the final. And Mori Bamba in the 79th minute put the final nail in the coffin. This wasn't exactly our best game. This was a very, very rotated side. I think Orlov and Xingcheng were probably the only players I would consider full-time starters. Well, Fernandez started, but he came off the half, as did Wickland. Correa came on to replace Fernandez, and Osmani came on to replace Wickland. And oddly enough, after those two guys went off, our play improved. I'll be honest, the more I watch Fernandez play, the more I am just... I don't know. He should be. He's 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. He's not having a good season, really. Yeah, he has 7 goals. But 3 of those were Kuda League. 2 of those was League 1. 1's Euro Cup. 1 was Champions Cup. Last season, he was hot and cold. And this season, he just... 13 goals, 3 assists, 4 players of the match, and 7.06 rating in 32 games. That's not bad. He's got 9 games to go, and he hasn't had any players of the match so far. He's 11 goals off the pace from where he was last year, and his rating is down. So, and frankly, the more I think about it, the more I don't think he's going to be here past the summer, especially as... Let me go here real quick. Regis Valles at Valencians. He's had 16 appearances, 4 off the bench, 10 goals and assist, and his rating is 7.16. Bastien Pichon is at Nimes. In 26 appearances, he has 11 goals, 3 assists, 3 players of the match, and a 7.02 rating. They're both coming back next season, and they'll both get starts. I'm going to have to play them full-time, first-team playing time for them to really, really improve. And possibly go to a 4-2-4 so I can get them both on the field at the same time. And it's not that Fernandez is a bad keeper. He's young. He's 21. Runs with the ball through center, places shots, likes to beat the offside trap, plays no through balls. It's just his production is just... maybe I keep him next year, partner him up with Pichon and Valet, get a 3-player rotation going. I don't know, maybe I come up with a 4-3-3 with 3 at the top. We'll see what happens. I got the midfielders for it, which is me not playing my wingers. Which would be a shame, because I have some very good young wingers. So that said, we are away at Roma now. We need 3 goals to win. And it's... as long as we don't get screwed by the match engine, I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to check the best 11, set the reserves. We're going to be back with our away match at Roma in just a bit. Away at Roma, we are playing our 4-1-2-3. Orlov and goal. Sesnian, Zhang Cheng, Hustik in theory as the defensive back four. Vlecic is the defensive midfielder behind Heraldez and Milescu. Correa and Macon are the attacking midfielders, and Fernandez is up top as the striker. Probably haven't mentioned it. Frank, I know Frank tore his ACL. He's out for the rest of the season, and chances are he's probably not coming back to the team either. Malengu, who is my backup striker, has a lower back stress fracture. Should have challenged that, and he's out for a couple more weeks as well. So as of right now, Fernandez is the starting striker, and Correa is the backup. Hustik to Milescu, back to Hustik, to Milescu, to Macon. Up to Theory, Fernandez. Yeah, stuff like that. 4 yards in front of the goal. And he does that. Heraldez. Macon. Sessignon takes the shot, glances off a Roma player and in for the goal. 2 more, just like it, guys. Let's go. Well, we got lucky with that. We got lucky with that, too. Sometimes you need a little luck. Barella, corner kick in, all the way through the box. Silvero picks it up, out to Cristante, back to Silvero. Crosses it in, Bernardo's there, wide. Whew. Dodged a bullet there. Halftime. Roma's had 4 shots, 1 on target. We've had 7 and 2. We're a little bit more match fit than they are, too. That's a nice change. We're getting shots, so they're just not on target. Yeah, 3 yellow cards and 70 minutes in. Let's make a couple changes. Correa is going to move up top and replace Fernandez. Ruiz is going to come on and take Correa's spot. Osmani is going to come on and replace Milescu. Theory is going to switch to the left and replace Sessegnon, and Flores is going to come on the right. I'm going to leave Macon on. Don't have any better options at the attacking midfielder on the right. And Flores just got sent off. On a straight red. Literally, I just brought him. Shooting ourselves in the frickin' foot. Macon. To Osmani. All the way across the field to Ruiz. Has a chance. Crosses it in. Correa's there, but it gets knocked away. Olsa has it. Charging forward. Rosa beats the defender. That's the match. 15 minutes left. They're 4 goals up. I don't want to see that. Gagliardi dispossessed by Heraldus. Crosses it in, but it goes right to Audero. 4 minutes left. Hrustic heads it down. Schick is there. Sends it over to Rosa. Back to Radusiak. Out to Silvero. Crosses it in. Oh, Radusiak almost scored. That should be it right here. And it is. That was a thoroughly disappointing game. Matt Flores was on the pitch for all of 2 minutes. Well, we received 1.1 million euros. Flores suspended for 1 match. 2 weeks salary. Darn right you accept your fine. We're going to do the press conference after we look at the schedule here. We're in the Coupe de League final against PSG, so we'll come back for that. Then we're playing PSG at home a week later. So we'll do back-to-backs at PSG, then come back for Montpellier. That'll be the last game of the season. I got to figure out how to run my players into the ground without actually injuring them. Unreal. Well, I certainly did not like what I saw, but if you did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I'll answer them as best as I can. My name's FM19, and I thank you for watching the Return of Gloria, episode 84.